Alright, so we got the Celestial Lions. While you don't mess with this Inquisition. I'm gonna keep it real. Their colorway is actually pretty fire. Let's check them out. Let's go. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, by the way. On the road to 10,000 subscribers.
FBI, open up!
I'm Arthur, and this is part 7 in a 20-part series I am doing covering fan-favorite chapters of Space Marines in order of the Legions. Do you need to have seen the other parts to understand this one? No, but it would make me happy. Amongst the Sons of Dorn, there are many options to cover, many good memes, and ones that are both interesting while also being fan favorites. I find a lot of the chapters I tend to like, although not necessarily uninteresting, are just kind of ignored by the mainstream populace of 40k, even sometimes more so than like successors of other legions that get significantly less lore. I stand by my statements that the Iron Snakes and the Mantis Warriors are some of the coolest chapters I've ever seen, but no one really ever talks about them. But with the Sons of Dorn, there is a lot of people who love...
I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. The Celestial Lions, whatever, I've definitely heard of them before, but like he said, they kind of do get clouded by a lot of the other popular, factions and stuff like that. So I mean, it would be pretty cool to to learn about them. But if I'm just keeping it real, like they're not even up there with like my goats right here. Like they're not even up there like with the goats. Like, come on, yo.
Their successors. Case in point, a lot of people hold the Black Templars and the Crimson Fists in the same category of respect that they do the Ultramarines and the Raven Guard. Hell, I'd even gamble to say that people respect them more than lesser-liked legions like the White Scars. Sorry, White Scars fans. But today we are talking about a successor chapter that is both cool and not talked about as much as I'd like, and that is the Celestial Lions. The Celestial Lions are guilty of committing the worst crime you could ever commit in the 40k setting, and that is the dual existence of being noble and kind while also having a chronic inability to read the goddamn room and understand when you probably need to play the political game a little bit better. For those who don't know about the Celestial Lions, I think you're gonna enjoy the hell out of their story. But before I get into it, I don't usually do this specifically, but if you guys enjoyed this video and want to see me cover any specific chapter that you like, then like and comment what you want to see. That's how I'm formatting this series. I'm covering fan favorite chapters as well as, community submissions. It's by me figuring out what you all like by examining the comments. And if you especially like this video, make sure to subscribe.
So it's so different because like y'all y'all just comment what video y'all want me to react to. It's so different because I react to so many different types. Ow, my ears, yo. Dang, yo. Okay, so I accidentally just did this and I just hurt my ear. Dang, bruh. So basically, I react to so many different games, and I react to so many different Warhammer YouTubers and stuff like that. That y'all just comment down and sometimes y'all comment down a specific video, and I'm like, yo, and I look up the video, and I think 5 hours long. I'm not about to sit up here and react to a 5-hour long video. Who do y'all think I am? Bro, I'm not like the average Marvel fan.
Subscribe, okay? Cool. The antidote will be in the mail shortly. The Celestial Lions we shall break down into 3 categories that align with the idea of a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Okay.
So what is the beginning? It is a description of who they are and why they are that way, and how it is represented. The Lions are one of the most noble and outwardly kind chapters of Space Marines that have ever existed. They exude a level of dignity and nobility that are almost never really seen in this setting. I know a lot of people go out of their way to say how nice the Salamanders are, but that is kindness without being tempered with honor and intelligence. The Celestial Lions, on the other hand, are being described as wide smiles and honorable.
Yo, they got a brother in Warhammer? That's insane. Yo, that's crazy. Wow, they really got the Marcus in Warhammer, yo.
Without being whimpering saps. They are firm but fair, and they have an understanding that the universe should be held to a standard, an honorable set of way, and you should not sacrifice your sense of nobility simply because the universe is cruel. Their bright golden armor and their blue shoulder pads is such a good image for what the stereotypical Space Marine hero should be.
Yeah,
it actually bears a striking resemblance to the image of the Stormcast Eternals from the Hammers of Sigmar chamber in Age of Sigmar, which I think is super cool. They hail from a planet by the name of Elysium 9, which, alongside being a more arid plains-like area has also led to the chapter being mostly of darker complexion in terms of its skin tone, which...
My people! Yo, they really got my people in Warhammer! Wow!
I always thought was super interesting because in the modern day, for a lot of games, workshops, chapters, and a lot of the more modern day representations of skin tones, they tend to have a very mixed sort of look where there's just different skin tones across the board. So when it comes to chapters that have a clear cultural background that is representative of the planets they come from rather than picking and choosing from random different planets like a lot of the more well-known chapters, you get a lot of more interesting chapters on display. Like a good example, the Crimson Fists, who have an obvious Latino inspiration, which is super cool. But
I did not know that. Wow, I did not know that, y'all. Wow, okay.
Getting into their story a bit, they were a part of a group of 3 Space Marine chapters tasked with guarding a section of space known as Ilara's Veil. They were referred to as the Adeptus Valari, which comprised of the Emperor's Spears, the Star Scorpions, and the Celestial Lions. Now,
yo, the Star Scorpions, go. That fit is nasty. Star Scorpions, y'all need to fix that ASAP, bro. For real. This is tragic. Hey, they need a stylist immediately. Like, this is hard. I can definitely wear something like this. I can definitely rock something like this. This is, bro, I wouldn't even, you couldn't pay me enough money to walk out the house with this on, bro. Honestly, bro. Like, honestly, like all the women, all the pretty women out there, first of all, shout out to all the pretty ladies out there. Yo, all the pretty ladies, bro, they're gonna look at me in terror, bro. They're gonna look at me and start screaming if I walk outside with this on right now, bro. Seriously.
Every chapter there has issues and problems that they needed to kind of figure out, and I've talked way too much about the Emperor's Spears on this channel anyway, and the Star Scorpions will have their day in court, so I'm not going to cover the Adeptus Valari. Let's just get to the bits that explain the title of this video, as well as the bits that are relevant to the Celestial Lions. There was once an Inquisitor that was requesting aid from the Lions on a heretical planet infested with chaos and so on. You know how it goes. The Lions showed up and showed off. Like the Imperial Navy forces of Inquisitor Apollyon could not land because they would just be blown out of the sky, but they did form a massive blockade to prevent any ships from leaving. The Celestial Lions ended up just decimating the entirety of the military forces of the planet, to the point where after about 3 or 4 weeks they were beginning to leave and there was no military forces, no militia, no government leaders at all left. There was no fighting backbone to the planet, just civilians and, adjacent to civilians. They left feeling they had a job well done, and as they did, Inquisitor Apollyon decided to just exterminatus the whole planet anyhow, which left a bit of a sour taste in the mouths of the Lions. Because, hey dude, we just spent 3 or 4 weeks butt slamming millions of military forces into the wall. If you were going to bomb the planet from orbit anyway, why did you need us to even clear it out?
True.
To which Apollyon responded essentially with, sorry dude, planet's too far gone, couldn't see it from orbit, big sorry. Which to his credit, he did spend a few solar months trying to determine the level of salvageability that the planet was at.
We don't get what? We don't, bro, that's like me waiting for like the new GTA 6, bro, and all of a sudden I got this bum right here talking about some well, you know what, 6-7, blow it up. Like, what are we talking about? Yo, what?
Months trying to determine the level of salvageability that the planet was at spiritually. Okay, I get it. Sometimes Inquisitors gotta make the hard choices. But man, you couldn't just have checked a bit longer? Mass executions of people who had a little bit of chaos taint, etc., etc. It was a very callous decision, especially after wasting so many Space Marine lives on the offensive. But here is where the Lions made the big mistake. instead of just outright killing him or ignoring the decision and going on with their life. Because, I mean, like, who's really gonna stop them? They're Space Marines on both accounts. Picking a fight with them is usually never a good idea, nor is trying to kind of stop them if they wanted to leave in a huff. No, instead of that, they condemned his actions and then warned an entire system nearby of Inquisitor Apollyon before sending off a missive to Terra to request a reprimand for his hasty actions. See, for those who don't know the 40k setting, we call this in the business a really bad fucking idea. Their naivety over the idea that the Inquisition, the literal secret police of the Imperium, would let this slide is depressingly optimistic. So, for one, the missive did not make it to Terra and somehow was destroyed in the warp before ending up in Ork-infested territory. Crazy how that happens sometimes. And two, the next couple solar decades to centuries of the Lion's existence would be dedicated to their slow bleeding deaths, and I'm going to say this with huge air quotations, misfortunes, which were literally just the Inquisition dicking around with them. Let's not mince words here. The Inquisition did screw over the Celestial Lions. They served...
But like, bro, like the Inquisition, bro, like they're finessers, bro. It's like, here's what I feel like. I feel like if you're new to Warhammer, right? And I actually got proven wrong this months ago. Yo, there's no good guys in this, bro. There is no, good group, good faction. The Inquisition, even though they're like for like the what is it called? The Inquisitors, like what is it called, y'all? What is it called? The Inquisitors, right? Isn't it what it's called? Yo, even though they're for them, let's keep it, bro. These guys, they're finessers just like everybody else. Yo, that's just like the Imperium. Yo, the Imperium, I thought they were the good guys. No, they're not the good guys, bro. They're not. There's still some nasty stuff going on in the background. I mean,
in the Third War for Armageddon, and were constantly given bad intel that led to them falling into horrible traps and being almost decimated dozens of times over by Orks just because the Inquisition was just intercepting information.
I hate these damn Orks. I hate Orks so bad.
I'm not going to cover the majority of that because I want to cover the wars for Armageddon in a separate set of videos. I just want to cover the end point now of where they are now and what's the end point of the chapter, so on and so forth. So for one, they ended up getting picked up by one of the best possible options. They were put under the protection of the Black Templars, fellow Sons of Dorn, which is kind of awesome. Specifically, the protection of one, Merrick Grimaldus. Yeah, that one. Yeah, specifically that one. Who would have thought Aaron Dembski-Bowden would write more about the character that is most well-known under his control, aside from Talos? Basically, they're in the Imperium Nihilus trying to find a way back to Terra in order to save the Celestial Lions as a dying chapter, which is not going well, but it is made especially worse by the actually insane levels of spite that one Inquisitor has for the chapter. Basically, the whole plot of the book, The Spear of the Emperor, follows one of 3 slaves to a single Space Marine that was sent to monitor the Emperor's spears. Turns out, this was all a CIA Black Op level front in order to cover the fact that one of these 3 slaves was actually a Calidus assassin sent.
Yo, don't take this the wrong way, yo, but listen. If we got word that one of those 3 slaves was like one of these like assassins or whatever, yo, no lie, bro, I would have put a hit on myself. Yo, I would have put a hit on if this is trying to track me down, yo, I would have put a hit on myself, and then I would have put it like, and did it like the little extra notes of like what they, of like the little notes of like what they, of like what else you want to be done to the person that you're hunting. Yo, I would have wrote something like, squish me, step on me. Boy, no. Yo, I'm joking. I'm playing around, y'all. Yo, I would, come on, man. Like, I would never do something like that in real life. Never.
Master of the Celestial Lions, which is a good friend to the chapter master and the majority of the chapter of the Emperor's Spears. This is insane. This is not good, and it actually happens. Literally in the last 5 chapters of the book, you find out that the individual that was portraying some kind of crippled old man was actually a hunched over Calidus assassin hiding a Xenophase blade in their hunch, which is, I'm gonna say insane again, but it's true. It's crazy that they went to that length just to kill an ally.
Dang, bro, he really hit his sword in his fupa. That's insane.
He ended up beheading the chapter master, Ekene Dubaku, who, I should note, was not just a chapter master, he was a symbol of pride, the unending strength of the Space Marines of the Celestial Lions. So, with him dead, the morale of the Lions crumbled. Now, the assassin was dealt with properly, you know, not much can survive having a vortex grenade chucked directly under their feet, but the Lions' story kinda ends there right now, as we haven't had any update yet, which is endlessly depressing. But this leaves me to my final points. I genuinely love the idea that the premise here is you cannot be an altruistic individual without logic and reasoning in the 40k setting, as if you are going to get scraped out underfoot by some massive organization that is going to take advantage of your kindness, and if you speak out against them, you are going to just disappear and never be seen again.
Not me. They ain't gonna get me, yo. Yo, as a matter of fact, yo, every piece of information that I find, I'm screaming it out to the world. It ain't gonna get me.
Going through the proper
just keeping it real.
legal channels for the Inquisition might sound right, but they have...
Ooh, look at this outfit he got on. He got the Undertaker hat on too? Okay, bro.
Absolute authority to do whatever they wish, even to Space Marine chapters, and a lot of us as fans forget that. And they do not take an L easily. A lot of renegade inquisitors are going to do what they see fit, even if it isn't the moral thing to do, which is why you can't help but root for the Celestial Lions. They are good men in bad times. That stand with their convictions and their sense of duty, even if it is going to get them killed. It is motivational, but you can also see it from the adverse angle, to play devil's advocate for a second, where it just shows how devolved the setting is, and if you don't find a way to play the game, then you're just an idiot who's going to be the correct and right good man amongst a pile of corpses. It's truly Noble Bright versus Grimdark, and I kind of love it for that. Oh, it's also birthed the meme of orc snipers, which is really funny. But what do you all think about the Celestial Lions? I love them. I love all of...
I mean, they're cool. They're not really, like, something to, like, you know, jump up and down over. Like, I'm not gonna, like, I'm just keep it real for what it is. Like, this is just me personally. Like, bro, like, if one of these guys was in danger, like, I'm not finna, like, you know, hop in front of the danger and me absorb, you know, like, the threat, you know, and save these guys. I'm not about to do that. Like, obviously, if it's Vulcan, like, if Vulcan's about to get, like, let's say Vulcan's about to get, like, let's say, for example, Vulcan about to get hit from the back, pause, right? He about to get hit from the back. I hurry up and, Vulcan, no! And I push Vulcan out the way, and then, like, you know, I go out crazy. Like, I would definitely do that for Vulcan. I would never do that for these guys. Shout out to them, though. Other than that, man, comment down below. What do y'all think about it, man? I'm going to say everything from that. Bye, everyone.